Do you know that Japan is a place that's extremely disciplined, yet openly allows things so shocking that many other countries would ban them outright? This isn't just sushi, cherry blossoms, or trains that run on time. Behind the perfect surface lies a hidden dark history, a public 18-plus economy, bizarre services that sound unbelievable, and mysteries that still have no clear explanation. Come with me as we uncover 15 truths about Japan that could completely shatter the image of the land of the rising sun you thought you knew. Number 1. The hidden dark side of the Japanese Empire. What textbooks don't really talk about. Throughout its long history, Japan is one of the few countries that was never fully colonized. For most of that time, it kept an isolationist policy, limiting contact with the outside world. But a major turning point hit in 1853, when a U.S. fleet forced Japan to open its ports. That moment set off the Meiji Restoration and kicked off a modernization wave like nothing Japan had ever seen. In just a few decades, Japan went from a feudal society to a major military power, with the 1905 victory over Russia becoming a shockwave felt around the world. Before World War II, Japan became the only Asian country that could directly compete with Western empires in military strength, industry, and territory. The Japanese Empire expanded across East Asia and Southeast Asia, but that expansion came with heavy consequences. In many places, harsh military rule, forced labor, and food requisitions triggered severe humanitarian disasters. Those memories are still deeply embedded in the collective mind of many Asian nations today. After the war, Japan was forced to confront this complicated historical legacy. Starting in the 1990s, the Japanese government began officially acknowledging responsibility for wartime actions, including the Comfort Women System. The Asian Women's Fund was created to provide financial and emotional support to surviving victims. Japan also launched multiple aid programs and economic cooperation initiatives with countries that had been affected. Still, not everyone has been satisfied with the level of apology and compensation. Some countries argue that Japan's statements lack legal accountability or aren't clear and direct enough. That difference in how history is remembered is exactly why this issue continues to spark diplomatic tension, especially between Japan and its neighbors. Even so, it's hard to deny that Japan is one of the few countries that has actively tried to face the darker parts of its past rather than rejecting them entirely. Acknowledging wrongdoing, even if it doesn't feel complete to everyone, is still a difficult but necessary step in building the image of a modern nation that takes responsibility for its own history. Number 2. Japan's strange beauty standard. Beautiful in a way nobody dares to copy. When people think of Japanese women, they often picture pale skin, a slim figure, modest fashion, and soft, gentle manners. That image didn't appear by accident. It's the result of centuries of beauty standards shaped around refinement and self-restraint. Instead of showing off curves or leaning into direct sex appeal, Japanese beauty tends to prioritize balance, cleanliness, and an easy, pleasant impression. Kimono, natural makeup, and neatly styled hair used to be core elements of what the ideal woman looked like. The recent viral spread of Sayori Araki's photos online shows that this beauty standard still has real power. With just one photo in office attire and a cute facial expression, she pulled in tens of millions of views in a short time. That reflects something very Japanese. In Japan, being cute and approachable can sometimes have more reach than the kind of sexy beauty Western culture often pushes. Kawaii isn't just an aesthetic here. It's become part of pop culture and even a full-on media strategy. But if you look back through history, Japan's beauty ideals used to be very different. There were periods when daily bathing wasn't common, shaped by climate and beliefs about skincare. And there was even a time when body hair was seen as a natural marker of femininity. These shifts make one thing clear: beauty standards aren't fixed. They change with social conditions and outside cultural influence. Today, Japanese women are strongly influenced by Western lifestyles, especially American culture. In big cities, it's increasingly normal for women in their 30s to live single, work full-time, invest financially, and raise pets. Marriage is no longer treated like a mandatory finish line. Instead, it's seen as a choice, and it has to add real value to a woman's personal life. One trend that stands out is the rise in Japanese women marrying foreigners. Many say Western men are more open about emotions and more comfortable expressing affection. That difference can be especially attractive to women who are used to living independently. Every year, hundreds of thousands of Japanese women choose to marry foreigners, and the number continues to climb in major urban areas. This doesn't just reflect changes in dating and love, it signals a deeper shift in Japan's traditional family values. Number 3. Japan's economy. Public, legal, and still controversial. After World War II, Japan emerged from the war almost completely exhausted. Nearly half of its infrastructure was destroyed, industrial output collapsed, and inflation skyrocketed. Between 1945 and 1948, domestic prices rose by around 70 times, while Japan had almost no ability to export and earn foreign currency. For many observers at the time, Japan's recovery looked nearly impossible. But less than a decade later, the world witnessed what became known as the Japanese economic miracle. From 1955 to 1980, Japan's economy grew by an average of over 9% per year, a pace that's extremely rare in modern history. With a highly disciplined workforce, heavy investment in education, and rapid adoption of Western technology, Japan quickly rose to become the world's second-largest economic power, behind only the United States. Companies like Toyota, Sony, Mitsubishi, and Toshiba didn't just dominate at home. They expanded their influence worldwide. At its peak, the total value of assets in Tokyo was said to make up nearly a quarter of global assets, leading many to believe Japan would eventually overtake the US as the #1 economy. Today, Japan ranks 4th in the world by economic size, after the United States, China, and Germany. Living standards remain among the highest in Asia, supported by strong healthcare, education, and public infrastructure. But alongside major industries like automobiles, electronics, and artificial intelligence, Japan also has a sector that sparks constant debate: the adult video industry. By many estimates, it accounts for about 20% of global revenue in adult entertainment, worth over $25 billion USD per year. What many people don't realize is that the existence of this industry isn't tolerated only for economic reasons. With birth rates falling and the population aging fast, some forms of soft regulation have been seen as an indirect attempt to stimulate intimacy-related demand and help sustain fertility. In reality, though, the impact appears almost negligible. Japan's birth rate continues to decline despite the massive scale of the industry. At the same time, Japan has been incredibly successful at exporting soft power, especially through anime. Many estimates suggest anime makes up around 60% of animated content produced globally and has a fan community of over 800 million people. From Naruto and Dragon Ball to One Piece and Demon Slayer, these works aren't just entertainment, they carry Japanese cultural values across the world. That contrast between a society that looks disciplined and serious on the outside, while hosting surprisingly open entertainment industries inside, is one of the most fascinating contradictions in modern Japan's economy. Number 4. Things Japanese people absolutely avoid saying or doing, even once. If you've lived in or traveled through Western countries, gestures like shaking hands, a light hug, or a friendly pat on the shoulder often signal warmth and friendliness. But in Japan, those same gestures can make someone uncomfortable, especially during a first meeting. Japanese people tend to avoid physical contact because personal space is treated as a boundary that should be respected. Instead of touching, they rely on bowing as a central form of communication. The depth, duration, and rhythm of a bow can mean different things, from a casual greeting to a serious apology or deep gratitude. So if you reach out to shake hands and the other person simply bows, the smartest move is to pull your hand back and bow in return. Another major taboo foreigners often break is being loud in public. On trains, buses, and bullet trains, you'll rarely hear people speaking loudly. Phone calls, loud laughter, or using speakerphone are seen as inconsiderate. In Japan, public spaces are shared, so silence is treated as a form of respect for the group. Many Japanese people will choose texting over calling, even for something short, just to avoid bothering others. Dining culture comes with even stricter unspoken rules. One of the biggest mistakes is sticking chopsticks straight up into a bowl of rice. That image is tied to rituals for the dead and is considered bad luck. Another thing you should never do is pass food directly from your chopsticks to someone else's chopsticks, because that action is associated with the ritual of picking up bones after cremation. These rules aren't written into law, but almost every Japanese person understands them and follows them automatically. One interesting detail is that during a shared meal, you shouldn't pour your own drink first. Japanese people often watch the other person's glass and pour for them before thinking about themselves. It's a way of showing care and keeping the social connection alive. If you pour for yourself first, it can come across as separating yourself from the group. Finally, tattoos are still a sensitive topic in Japan. In many people's minds, tattoos are linked to Yakuza and the criminal underworld. That's why many public bathhouses, gyms, and swimming pools still post signs refusing entry to people with tattoos. Japanese society is slowly becoming more open, especially among younger generations, but the stigma hasn't fully disappeared. As a visitor, respecting this reality can save you from unnecessary trouble. Number 5. Japan isn't what you think. The truth behind the land of the rising sun. Japan is often called the land of the rising sun, and that name makes many people assume Japan is the first place on Earth to see sunrise every day. But if you look at international time zones and the international date line, that title actually belongs to a few small islands in Kiribati, out in the Pacific Ocean. Still, when Japanese people call their country Nihon or Nippon, meaning the origin of the sun, it isn't based on a geographical mistake. It comes from how Japan saw itself in the ancient world. For thousands of years, Japan was viewed as the eastern edge of Asia, where the sun appeared earlier than in China or on the Korean peninsula. That's why this name became officially used in the 7th century, when the Japanese emperor sent diplomatic letters to China's Tang dynasty and referred to Japan as the place where the sun begins. Geographically, Japan is a classic island nation, made up of more than 6,800 islands stretching over 3,000 kilometers from north to south. Its total land area is around 380,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of California. But almost all of Japan's population and economic activity is concentrated on 4 main islands: Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku, which make up about 97% of the country's area. This creates one of the most densely developed and heavily concentrated infrastructure networks in the world, especially along coastal plains. Japan also sits fully inside the Pacific Ring of Fire, the most tectonically active region on the planet. On average, Japan experiences about 1,500 earthquakes each year, which is basically several a day. Most are small and cause little damage, but Japan's history includes disasters that changed everything. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake, measuring over magnitude 9, triggered a tsunami up to 40 meters high and caused a severe nuclear accident at Fukushima Daiichi. More than 20,000 people died, hundreds of thousands lost homes, and the economic damage reached around 360 billion USD, making it the costliest natural disaster in human history. After that, Japan massively reshaped how it manages natural risk, from city planning and seawalls to early warning systems and disaster education. Even though Japan isn't large in area, it remains the 11th most populous country in the world, with around 125 million people. The Greater Tokyo area alone has over 41 million residents, making it the most populated metropolitan region on Earth. But behind those big numbers is a serious demographic challenge. Nearly 30% of Japan's population is now over 65, while birth rates stay extremely low. One striking statistic shows that the number of pet dogs and cats in households has surpassed the number of children under 15. This isn't just about aging, it reflects deeper shifts in lifestyle, marriage, and personal priorities in modern Japanese society. So are you surprised to learn that the land of the rising sun isn't actually the first place in the world to see sunrise? If you find that interesting, drop a comment with number 1 so we can keep exploring Japan through angles most people never talk about. Number 6. When night falls, a completely different Japan appears. As the final trains of the day start running less frequently, many major Japanese cities slip into a totally different rhythm. Tokyo, Osaka, and Fukuoka at night aren't loud in a chaotic way. They move with their own kind of order. Neon lights, vending machines, tiny bars, and narrow alleys create a space that feels both modern and discreet. For many Japanese people, nighttime isn't about escaping society. It's about switching into a different mode of living, with less pressure than daytime. Izakaya culture sits right at the center of nightlife. These are casual places where co-workers meet after work to eat, drink, talk, and decompress. The spaces are usually small, crowded, and just loud enough to feel alive, creating a sense of closeness while still keeping personal boundaries. All-night karaoke is also a huge part of the routine, giving people a way to release emotions without disturbing public spaces. Renting private karaoke rooms says a lot about Japanese social logic. Have fun, but don't inconvenience others. In areas like Shibuya and Roppongi, modern clubs and lounges run until morning, with international DJs and a clearly Western vibe. Meanwhile, in places like Kyoto or Kanazawa, nightlife feels calmer, shaped by traditional performances, classical instruments, and carefully arranged lighting. That variety shows that Japanese nightlife isn't controlled by just one entertainment formula. Walking at night in Japan is an experience many travelers rate very highly. Streets are evenly lit, traffic flows smoothly, and low crime rates make late-night strolling feel safe. In Kyoto, catching a glimpse of a geisha silhouette in Gion under lantern light is one of those iconic images people never forget. That combination of safety, urban planning, and aesthetic design turns nighttime into a core part of Japan's urban identity. Number 7. The weirdest services in the world. Only Japan would think of this. In Japan, there are services that sound like they belong in a sci-fi movie, but they operate legally and seriously in real life. One of the most curiosity-inducing is Rent a Relative. In big cities like Tokyo and Osaka, there are companies that provide actors to play the role of a boyfriend or girlfriend, a spouse, parents, or even other family members at social events. Customers can choose profiles based on age, appearance, manner, and even personality. People use this for weddings, parent-teacher meetings, or family gatherings where having family present is seen as necessary. It sounds bizarre, but the model reflects a real social reality. With higher singlehood rates, later marriage, and looser family ties, many Japanese people struggle to meet traditional social expectations. Rent a Relative isn't always about emotional deception. It often works as a temporary solution that helps someone fit into social norms that still exist. Another popular service is the stress release room. Customers are given tools like hammers or bats to smash objects in a soundproof, controlled space with safety measures in place. The items are usually old electronics or industrial scrap. This attracts all kinds of people, from office workers to seniors. In a society that values emotional control and avoiding disturbance, spaces like this allow people to release pressure without affecting the community. A gentler version is the Cuddle Cafe. Customers pay for minimal physical contact like holding hands, leaning on someone's shoulder, or lying next to a stranger in a quiet space. This isn't framed as sexual. It focuses on feeling safe and simply being with another person. Its existence suggests a growing need for emotional connection in an increasingly individualized society. Japan also offers services like hiring someone to apologize on your behalf, hiring someone to sit with you without talking, or even hiring professional mourners who cry at funerals. These models aren't just random weirdness. They come from a tightly structured society where social roles are clearly separated. In Japan, services don't just meet material needs, they also fill emotional gaps created by modern life. Number 8. Japan's vending machines. What you'd never expect to be sold on the street. Japan is famous for having one of the world's top education systems. In recent international rankings, Japanese students consistently place near the top in math, science, and reading. What drives this success isn't only academic performance, but an educational philosophy that emphasizes discipline, morals, and responsibility from the earliest years. Japanese children are taught manners, cleanliness in shared spaces, and respect for others long before grades and exams become the main focus. At the same time, alongside that disciplined image, Japan also has one of the largest automated vending ecosystems on Earth. The country has over 4 million vending machines, roughly one for every 30 people. These machines sell everything from drinks and hot meals to cosmetics and everyday supplies. You see them everywhere, from train stations and hospitals to quiet side streets. What surprises many Western travelers is that in certain low-traffic areas, some vending machines offer sensitive products packaged discreetly. These items can include photo books, lingerie, or adult-oriented products, all sold without a clerk present. The existence of these machines reflects how much Japanese society relies on personal responsibility and compliance with the law. In reality, the controversial machines make up only a tiny fraction of the overall system. Most vending machines serve daily essentials and play a major role in urban life. In recent years, Japanese authorities have tightened licensing, especially near schools and tourist areas. So these sensitive vending machines aren't really a symbol of recklessness. They're more like a side effect of a highly orderly society, where individuals are given a lot of personal freedom and at the same time are expected to take full responsibility for their choices. That delicate balance is exactly what makes Japan feel so disciplined, and yet endlessly intriguing to the rest of the world. Number 9. Japan's individual-centered culture. Japanese people are often described as polite, friendly, and gentle, especially in short interactions with strangers or tourists. But if you look deeper into everyday life, you'll notice another cultural layer running in parallel. Japanese society has a concept called tateme, referring to socially appropriate, outward behavior. Smiles, bows, and polite words don't always reflect what someone truly feels inside. Sometimes they're simply the way people keep society running smoothly. In personal life, many Japanese people lean toward privacy and clear separation. They rarely chat with neighbors, don't easily share personal matters, and aren't used to expressing emotions directly. Children are taught independence early, and as they grow up, they often leave home for school or work, then form their own households after marriage. Multi-generational families living under one roof have become increasingly rare in major cities. One serious consequence of this lifestyle is elderly isolation. There are cases where older people pass away alone in locked apartments, unnoticed until neighbors detect an unusual smell. This reflects the downside of valuing privacy too strongly. In Japan, not bothering others can sometimes be prioritized even over checking whether someone is okay. Still, Japan's individual-focused culture has real advantages. Clear personal boundaries help reduce conflict, boost productivity, and create a sense of safety in everyday life. In public, people follow rules, line up properly, and rarely inconvenience others. Acts of kindness like giving up a seat or helping someone are often done as a social duty, not as emotional display. That's why some foreigners feel Japanese politeness is a bit cold. But in reality, it comes from a society that values responsibility more than emotional expression. In Japan, doing the right thing is treated as normal, not something that needs praise. This culture helps society stay stable, while also creating big challenges for human connection in modern life. Number 10. Japan's mysterious places, still unexplained to this day. Fushimi Inari in Kyoto is one of Japan's most iconic landmarks. Thousands of red torii gates stretch one after another, forming long paths through forested mountains. Each gate is donated by an individual or a business, engraved with the donor's name and year, turning the site into a living, active place of faith rather than a simple display monument. The climb up Mount Inari takes about 2 hours, long enough for visitors to feel the atmosphere shift gradually from crowded to quiet. What makes Fushimi Inari special isn't just the scale or the color, it's the hard-to-explain feeling you get as you move deeper inside. The higher you go, the city's noise fades away, replaced by wind, footsteps, and the almost endless repetition of identical torii gates. Many visitors describe it as stepping into a place where time feels slightly off, where the line between tourism, belief, and personal experience starts to blur. Lake Kawaguchi and Mount Fuji offer a completely different kind of experience. This is one of the rare places where you can see Fuji's perfectly symmetrical shape in full if the weather cooperates. Travelers often combine sightseeing with cycling, boating, and soaking in an onsen with a direct view of the mountain. Fuji isn't just a tourist spot, it's a spiritual symbol deeply tied to Japan's national identity. The mystery here is that even though Fuji is one of the most studied and documented mountains in Japan, it still carries layers of sacred stories, ancient rituals, and a sense of holiness that's hard to put into words. For centuries, many Japanese people believed this was the closest place humans could come to the world of the gods, and that belief still exists alongside modern science. Okinawa represents yet another Japan. With turquoise seas, coral reefs, and a distinct Ryukyu culture, it has a tropical feel that's rare for a country often associated with temperate climates. Diving, stand-up paddleboarding, and exploring local cuisine are some of the most popular activities. The clear difference in climate and culture makes Okinawa proof of how diverse Japan can be within itself. And then there's Jigokudani, where snow monkeys soak in hot springs during freezing winter. The image is famous, but it also raises questions about how animals adapt and how humans protect wildlife in its natural setting. Why do these monkeys know how to use hot springs? And why do they appear so strongly in such a limited area? Science still doesn't fully explain every part of their behavior. That's what makes these places feel mysterious. In Japan, science, belief, and unanswered questions aren't forced to compete. They're allowed to exist side by side. The unexplained isn't rejected, it's accepted as a natural part of the world. Number 11. The real cost of living in Japan, more expensive than you think. Japan is often seen as an expensive country, but the real cost of living depends heavily on location and lifestyle. In central Tokyo, rent for a one-bedroom apartment usually ranges from $800 to $200 per month. Meanwhile, in smaller cities or suburban areas, rent can drop to about half of that. This gap is why many people choose to live farther from the center and commute by train. Public transportation is one of Japan's biggest strengths. Trains are punctual, clean, and widely available across major urban areas. Monthly passes can significantly cut commuting costs for long-term workers. Taxis are convenient but expensive, so they're rarely used for long distances. Food costs are also flexible. Cooking at home can save a lot, while eating out still offers plenty of affordable options. Japan's convenience store culture makes it possible to eat quickly, cheaply, and still get reliable quality. But what shocks many foreigners isn't the daily spending, it's the upfront costs. When renting a place, tenants often need to pay a deposit, a key money gift fee to the landlord, and an agency fee, which can equal 2 to 4 months of rent. It's a one-time cost, but it can make the initial budget jump dramatically. Japanese people also tend to budget in a very planned way. Expenses like health insurance, resident tax, and local service fees are deducted regularly, creating stable monthly spending that's hard to cut suddenly. That makes Japan feel expensive but controllable, rather than expensive in a chaotic, unpredictable way. Overall, the total cost of living for a single person usually falls between $1,000 and $1,500 per month, depending on spending habits. With a frugal lifestyle, it can be lower, but if you travel often, go out a lot, and live in the urban center, costs can easily rise far above average. Japan isn't cheap, but for many people, the price buys safety, stability, and a high quality of life. Number 12. Japanese festivals that shock tourists. Is because they're just that different. Hanami is one of Japan's most famous festivals, held during cherry blossom season. People gather under the blossoms to eat, drink, talk, and enjoy a moment of nature that doesn't last long. Cherry blossoms bloom for only a short time, and that fragility becomes a symbol of how Japanese culture sees life itself. Hanami isn't just about flowers, it's society pressing pause together to acknowledge beauty that disappears quickly. In summer, Gion Matsuri in Kyoto feels completely different. With lavishly decorated floats parading through historic streets, this festival reflects deep tradition and strong local community ties. It originally began as a ritual to ward off disease, but today it's a major cultural event attracting millions of visitors. The Sumida Fireworks Festival in Tokyo highlights Japan's visual culture. Thousands of fireworks are launched in rhythm, combining sound and light with a sense of order. Unlike fireworks shows that are purely spectacle, Sumida emphasizes aesthetics and collective coordination. Autumn brings Kishiwada Danjiri, where massive wooden floats are pulled at high speed through narrow streets. It's one of the rare festivals that openly displays risk-taking spirit and raw teamwork. Participants must coordinate with extreme precision because even a small mistake can cause accidents. Winter closes with the Sapporo Snow Festival, where ice and snow sculptures become a global tourism highlight. What surprises many visitors is that even at huge scale, these festivals still feel highly organized and disciplined. Most Japanese festivals weren't created for tourism. They exist to serve the spiritual and social needs of local communities. That's exactly what makes them feel so different to first-time travelers. Number 13. Japanese food. Not just sushi, and not for everyone. When people think of Japanese cuisine, sushi is almost always the first name that pops up. Sushi isn't simply raw fish with rice. It's a carefully balanced combination of vinegared rice, ultra-fresh seafood, and precise flavor harmony. The rice has to be just the right texture, not too wet and not too dry, while the fish is sliced along the grain to keep the bite and structure. For Japanese people, sushi takes skill, discipline, and deep respect for ingredients. It's not fast food, even if tourists sometimes treat it that way. Alongside sushi, ramen shows how diverse Japan's regional food culture is. From rich tonkotsu broth in Fukuoka to lighter shoyu styles in Tokyo and bold miso ramen in Hokkaido, each bowl reflects local climate and taste preferences. Ramen isn't only everyday food, it's a cultural pride point. To to the extent that some chefs spend their entire lives perfecting one single broth. But not every Japanese dish is easy for Western travelers to handle. Shirako is a perfect example. Made from the reproductive glands of male fish, often cod, it has a soft texture and rich, creamy taste. Even though it's considered nutritious and a winter delicacy, Shirako is a major psychological hurdle for first-timers. The fact that it exists and is appreciated shows how Japanese food culture often respects the whole ingredient, rather than only choosing the comfortable parts. Takoyaki, the famous street snack filled with octopus, represents the everyday side of Japanese food. Sold across busy neighborhoods, takoyaki is quick, hot, and social, something people eat while hanging out. Japanese cuisine doesn't live only in high-end restaurants. It runs through daily life at every level. Another defining trait of Japanese food culture is how clearly people separate everyday meals from experience meals. In daily life, the focus is often speed, balance, and reasonable cost. But during special occasions, food becomes almost ceremonial, where dishes are served and enjoyed in a certain flow. That's why the same dish can exist in both a cheap, casual version and a high-end version with a massive price gap. In Japan, eating isn't only about getting full. It's also a way to show respect for the ingredient, the chef, and the moment itself. And that's exactly why Japanese food is admired worldwide, but also why it's not for everyone. Number 14. Japan's most famous places, but you might not understand them yet. Seishoseki, also known as the Killing Stone, sits in Tochigi Prefecture, a large rock in a natural sulfur gas area. For centuries, locals believed the stone sealed the spirit of a nine-tailed fox. That idea sounded like pure legend until 2022, when the stone suddenly split in two without any recorded earthquake. The event shocked both the public and scientists. Another place that raises eyebrows is the Zen rock garden at Zuihoin Temple in Kyoto. In photos taken at different times, the shadows of the rocks sometimes don't match the real direction of the sunlight. There are theories involving light reflection and landscape design, but no single explanation has been widely accepted. What these mysterious places share isn't supernatural proof. It's the Japanese habit of allowing things that can't be fully explained to exist as they are. Instead of forcing a conclusion, Japan lets these stories live alongside modern life, as part of culture and collective imagination. Many foreign visitors are surprised that places like these aren't turned into sensational, heavily commercial attractions. There aren't exaggerated signs, horror-style tours, or pressure to believe one fixed answer. In Japanese culture, accepting ambiguity is seen as a natural way to live with the world. Something unexplained isn't automatically treated as wrong. Sometimes it's simply not the time for an answer yet. That mindset is why many famous places in Japan still feel quiet and deep, instead of becoming spots people visit just to snap photos and leave. Number 15. 15. Things you must know before you set foot in Japan. Even though Japan is considered one of the safest countries in the world, there are still real risks for travelers. In crowded tourist areas, some people may approach you and invite you into an unfamiliar restaurant or bar, then pressure you into paying an unusually high bill. Checking a place beforehand is essential. At night, avoid empty alleys and try not to get distracted by your phone while walking. Japan's safety comes from a well-functioning social system, not from risk being non-existent. Cash payments are still common in many smaller places, so it's smart to carry cash and withdraw from reputable ATMs. Also, not every hospital in Japan has English-speaking staff, so saving medical information and having a translation app ready can really matter. Most importantly, understand and respect local culture. Japan has many unspoken rules that aren't written down, but if you observe carefully and behave thoughtfully, Japan can become one of the easiest and most memorable destinations in the world. One more thing travelers often overlook is basic public etiquette. Eating while walking in crowded areas, speaking loudly on trains, or littering even something small can draw uncomfortable looks. You may not get fined, but these behaviors are seen as breaking shared order. It also helps to prepare a few key details in Japanese, like your address or essential medical notes. In emergencies, limited communication can slow down help. Being prepared doesn't just keep you safer, it makes your whole trip smoother and more in your control. Japan feels both familiar and strange at the same time. And the deeper you look, the more you realize this is a country that can't be understood through pretty images or carefully told stories alone. If the 15 truths in this video surprised you, challenged you, or made you see Japan differently, then this journey is only just beginning. If you found this video valuable, hit like to support the channel, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and follow the next episode, where we'll continue uncovering familiar countries through truths most people never talk about. Thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next exploration.